I think I'm in an abusive relationship and needing an escape plan, plus a 6-year update. I think my boyfriend of 3 years is financially abusing me, and everything went too fast, and now I feel trapped. I immigrated to Austria 3 years ago and met a guy at work and we started dating. He came to me with the story that he had a vasectomy, so no babies, but tell that to my pregnant self a couple of months later. I felt really ashamed as every time he told the story from the vasectomy to doctors or someone else, I felt like a cheater. I never cheated. We decided to keep the baby, so then I was pregnant and unemployed, as I had only a temporary job when I arrived. I had saved a little money while working, and he said he would take care of everything during pregnancy and that when the baby came, I would get childcare assistance from the country. We moved to an apartment and everything looked good. He asked me to put the internet and cable bill in my name as he was paying everything else. Then also car insurance in my name. I agreed as he said he would pay and he was putting a roof over my head. By the time the baby comes, I am still thinking everything is okay. But then we have stress about citizenship. I wanted the baby to have a dual citizenship, but until now, she only has Austrian and he refuses to make the second. She is already 2 years old, and I doubt he will agree to make it, so I don't ask anymore. Then comes the time for paperwork, and he says that it takes time for childcare money to come. He had access to my account so that he can take care of it, or so I thought. I never got the childcare. Until today, I don't know why. He said it was missing my resident permit, and he was also making it, never made it. He decides he isn't happy where we are living and wants to move to the other side of the country, with the excuse that he wants to be closer to his family. I say goodbye to my friends. I had some, but not many, and so we move. One day, he says he is having trouble with my Austrian debit card, and he asks me the code for my home country bank card. I was with my daughter and just wanting to go home, so I gave him so he could finish paying for the supermarket. After that, he keeps the card with him almost all the time, uses the ATM and only gives me cash and keeps both of my bank cards. We had a fight, not a physical one, he never hit me, and he says he will leave me as he gives me the cards back. Then he starts having problems with the landlord, so we move again. We would stay a couple of months and then move. One day before moving day, he says that he doesn't have money for the deposit, and I have the option to ask my parents for money or we sleep under a bridge and take our daughter to an orphanage. That was the moment I stopped trusting him. He had showed me for over a week a fake key for our new house. He used that so that I had to beg my parents for money. It went all to him. He used a couple thousand euros in maybe 2 or 3 months. When it was time for me to start to look for work, he sabotaged me all the way through. I applied for a job that I liked, but they were taking their time to decide as I didn't speak German so well. Of course, I kept looking. As soon as I found one, the day before I started, he made a story that the job had contacted him and was giving me a contract, that I shouldn't go for this second job. He even pretended to call the first company, and then he would always say, "You heard me talking to them, didn't you? You understood everything I said?" I started noticing that his phone calls looked fake. One time, the phone even rang in the middle of one of his calls. I was desperate for work because I needed to have a residence permit in the country through my work. And he tricked me, always with my dream job, that they had called him and they were only finishing the paperwork to give me the contract. Then, with luck, I ended up finding a job. He stayed with our daughter because he said he was too sick to work. Then, after 1 week, he says I have to quit because he can't manage the kid. And if I don't quit, he will call them to make me quit. After many discussions, I stay at this job, where I am still working. In the first couple of months, he still uses my bank card. He keeps sending it in overdraft, hundreds in negative. When my paycheck comes in, it hardly covers everything. And he stays in the house and says his back hurts, that he doesn't know what type of work he wants, always an excuse. In my 3rd month of work, I found out my wages are starting to get garnished for something he said he paid months ago. He says he will fix it. He will pay it. And it is the internet from our first apartment from when I was pregnant, unemployed, and he said he would always pay it. After some months, our daughter goes to kindergarten and he ends up finding a job. I keep getting angry because he keeps taking my bank card and using it without telling me, even while he has his own money. He even went to open a second account in my name to use as his, where he would keep his money in secret from me. I believe he made this account so the courts can't find his account through his name. I have complete access to this account now. He receives his paycheck there. I only let him have a debit card but not online access, so he can't take credit or anything. I'm planning on closing it after he gets and picks up his next paycheck. Last week, he started working late and I came home before him. In the mail was a late payment notice in my name, stuff that I never knew wasn't paid. My favorite debt is my last year's birthday gift. He insisted I get new glasses. I couldn't even ask the price. It was a surprise for me. Really lovely, wouldn't you think? But not even when I picked them up days later, the man from the shop said everything was due. My surprise is now when I get a letter from court where I owe the glasses my birthday gift, and that this letter was the 5th or 6th due payment notice. He was hiding my mail and probably tossing it in the trash. I decided to go to the courthouse to see what was up, and I have many debts, some from stuff I never heard about, some from stuff he said he paid, and some from stuff that he took money from my account to pay for. The courthouse said he never even paid €1 for my debts, and his own debts are only being paid by wage garnishing. Now I keep my cards by me, and I am replacing them with new codes. When I say I want him to go away, he uses now our daughter's custody not to go. Some time ago, he even tried to scare me because if I wanted my daughter, I would have to go through his lawyer, that he says is one of the best. I am scared for the future. He has an aggressive personality. I am afraid that my job might fire me and I wouldn't even be able to collect unemployment. I don't even know if I could take my daughter to my home country with me, so that at least I could live with my parents rent-free. I am going tomorrow to see a lawyer, but I have not even a single idea of what to talk about or where to start. I think I may consider therapy also in the future. Update 1. 1 year after original post. Some months have passed since this last post, and I would like to make an update of my current situation. I decided to stay in Austria, as I still think it is the best decision for me and my child's future. There are some more details that went into the decision, as my child is special needs with a bigger public support here, as in Portugal, and also that she only has an Austrian citizenship. I am not sure how that would turn out if I just left the country with her. I went to a lawyer, and his advice was that the first priority was to get myself a place. He indicated to me that the way to get a social housing apartment through the city council. He showed me the way to get a social housing apartment through the city council, where I am staying for the past 6 months with my daughter. After that, the lawyer started to try to get me out of some debts that I haven't made myself and were still in court. The ones that I have signed or were already thought to be judged unfortunately stayed, and I have to start paying them now. I am lucky that my family helps me and I am able to manage it. I was also able to get on some welfare and mandatory child support. In November, my ex went to jail for the frauds that he had committed. Although he is there until the end of the year, it wouldn't surprise me that he would get extra time, as he had made extra debts and frauds that are still not accounted in the sentence. He is also labeled as someone untrustworthy by police and in the nearby community. As this is a really small city, I don't think he has a chance to turn this back on me as I am the bad guy or something. I have also tried to get sole custody of my daughter, which came through as of last week. Because of him being in jail and not replying to my sole custody request, it was a way simpler process than I thought it would have been. I would like to thank everyone who commented on my first post. That helped me to realize the severity of the situation and the damage that was already made. It helped cement the decision to leave him as quick as possible. Update: 6 years later. After 6 years, I can proudly say that my life now is pretty boring. I tried to protect my daughter's right to have contact with their father, keeping casual encounters centered around her, always supervised, but that ship also sailed away. As I had suspected, my ex got his sentence extended and stayed over 3 years in jail, where he would get some free weekends and I would let him visit us. As soon as he completed his sentence, he made a last visit, didn't make any more effort to keep contact with us, and refused to pay child support. As much as I think my daughter had this contact right, it stopped making sense. For the last few years, we don't have any contact with my ex, and the only thing between us is the court-mandated child support that is managed through CPS. I keep contact with my daughter's grandmother, but she also didn't keep contact with her son, and we hardly speak about him. I kept sole custody and requested that my daughter have double citizenship. My daughter started school in 2021, and everything was pretty ordinary. I don't particularly like my daughter's school system, so in 2022, we made a leap of faith and packed all of our things and moved to Vienna. Everything went way better than I ever thought. My daughter's new school is great. We found a good apartment which I was free to decorate as I like. I was able to keep my pretty boring job. I have complete control of my finances, and I am free to make any decision I want. We are in a very stable condition, financially secure, and with lots of healthy routines. We started to build a network of friends. I now have contact with my daughter's disability association. I started attending single mothers events. I participate in my neighborhood community gardening project too. It is great to feel that I am part of multiple communities. I enjoy my independent life, and I am so happy that all the reasons that motivated my first Reddit post is just a distant memory. Well, this was a good ending, wouldn't you say so? I mean, she got out of the emotional relationship, or the abusive relationship, pardon me, and that is always a good thing, and we got an update 6 years later. You know some people don't be given those final updates after a week, but 6 years? Dang! I'm very happy for OP and her daughter, and the ex-husband, well, he sucks, we already know that. Next story. Story number 2. I was invited to my twin sister's surprise party as a guest, and I don't know if I want to go. I am F17 and have an identical twin sister. We are quite different when it comes to personality. She is more extroverted and has always had many friends from various groups, while I am more introverted and have always been geekier and prefer a smaller, closer circle of friends. We don't share many common friends, except for a few from our childhood at a different school. Our birthday is next Saturday, and yesterday, one of my sister's friends sent me a message inviting me to my sister's surprise party. I was confused because obviously we share the same birthday, so I asked if I could also celebrate mine there, inviting a few of my friends as well. And she replied that the party would be held in the party hall of her building, and it wasn't possible to invite everyone, but I could bring 2 of my friends. She later messaged me saying that they would only buy 1 cake, but I could bring my own and have a separate birthday song after my sister's. Today, she added me to the party's WhatsApp group, which already includes 47 people, myself included. Even though we are very different, my sister and I have a great relationship and have always dreamed of celebrating our 18th birthday together. We had planned to go out with our childhood friends to a bar in the evening and drink a lot. Today, I found out that our childhood friends are also in the party group, and I messaged them about our plans. They said they liked the idea of the surprise party and thought my sister would love it and are trying to get me excited about it too. The issue is, I'm not keen on the party idea. It's going to be crowded, and I won't be able to spend time with my sister the way I wanted. I might come off as spoiled, but I feel like an afterthought, and this is not how I want to spend my birthday. I'd prefer to spend it with my own group of friends, but I also know that my sister would be very disappointed if I didn't attend the party. I don't want to spoil the surprise for her, so I don't want to tell her what's happening. I'm at a loss about what to do. I spoke to my parents, but their advice didn't help. I just don't know what to do. Here are some relevant comments. User 1 said, "This is BS. Don't go and enjoy the time with your friends. Get screenshots of the terrible messages for when your sister is upset that you didn't go. Her friends will most likely lie about it. And I'm surprised you and your sister haven't already spoken about birthday plans. Is there a reason?" OP said, "We've already made plans to go to a bar with our childhood friends. My sister believes she's spending the afternoon with her friend who's planning the party, then coming home to prepare for the bar. However, her friend plans to accidentally leave the birthday gift behind, so they will need to swing by her place for her to give it to my sister, and then, surprise!" User 2 commented, "What about all the people waiting at the bar? Or are they all in on it and the bar is a lie entirely? By the way, I'm also a twin and would be so hurt if everyone wanted to celebrate my twin and not me. It's rude, degrading, and just plain mean." They could surprise her on a different day if they're mostly her friends and not yours. Then OP replied with, "The friends planning the party are not my friends. They invited our childhood friends since they know they are friends with my sister. Our childhood friends liked the idea of the surprise party and are trying to hype me up to go too. The bar was a concrete plan until her friend planned the surprise party. It's just that with the bar, we would be among friends we both like and would be celebrated equally. At the party, it's going to be 90% my sister's friends. I will still have my childhood friends and the 2 friends that they let me invite. I might sound very spoiled and immature, but I feel like I would be an afterthought and forgot at the party. It just feels very weird to me." Update. So, Saturday I was feeling anxious by the birthday plans, and I was crying in the kitchen. My mom noticed and came over to comfort me. When I told her I was upset about the party, she decided to tell me the truth. The party was actually a surprise for me as well, and all my friends were invited too. Yesterday, I called Melissa, the friend organizing the party, and she confirmed what my mom had said. Melissa explained that she wanted to spend my sister's birthday with her, especially since she might be moving away for college soon. She knew we had plans to celebrate our birthday with each other and our childhood friends, who are our only mutual friends. So she had the idea to arrange a surprise party with everyone, including my friends. She told this idea to our childhood friends, my friends and my parents, and they all approved. Melissa had already figured out how to get my sister to the party. She's going to spend the afternoon with her and pretend she left the gift at home. But she struggled to find a way to bring me there without spoiling the surprise, since we are not friends. Her solution was to make it seem like the party was only for my sister, limiting me to bringing just 2 friends, who would actually be in on the plan. It all made sense now, especially why our childhood friends were hyping me up to go to the party. She told me she didn't think things through and didn't realize how hurt I would be by this situation. She apologized for it. She thought it would be a nice surprise, and she didn't want me to suspect the party was for me too. I must admit, it wasn't how I envisioned spending my 18th birthday, but I've warmed up to the idea. I'm excited now. Look at this. Look at this, people. Do you see the lengths that people have to go to just to get the introvert to come out of the house? I'm joking. I don't really like how they went about with the party, but Melissa, the planner, recognized that it probably wasn't the best idea, and she apologized. And interestingly enough, we've had another story like this a while back on this channel, and it didn't go so smooth. It was with 2 twin brothers. One had his friends organize a birthday party for him, and then they told the other twin, OP, they were like, "Hey, do you want to tag along to your brother's birthday party?" And OP was like, "You know we have the same birthday, right?" And it didn't end as well, so I'm glad that this one has a better ending. Next story. Story number 3. Am I the a-hole for screaming at my husband to get out after he pranked me with flowers? My husband and my marriage is not going well. I'm very close to divorce, and I've talked to him about it. I told him I wanted some effort. I wanted flowers, chocolate, a nicely written note, something that showed he wanted to romance me, and he finally took it seriously and agreed. When I came home from a 12-hour shift yesterday, he had laid a trail of rose petals in our house. It was so beautiful. And the trail ended at the kitchen sink, where he had piled a bunch of dirty dishes, pots, and pans to clean. He said he got the idea from TikTok. I screamed at him to get out of my house, and he left after arguing a bit. Then I cried. Some of my friends said I was right, but others say he was just being playful. Am I the a-hole? Here are some more relevant comments. User 1 said, "Not the a-hole. I'm old and a widow, and I had a very long and loving relationship with my husband. He had a fantastic sense of humor and often did very silly things to get a laugh out of me. Our marriage was solid because he would never have let me come home from a 12-hour shift to rose petals leading to a dirty sink of dishes. He would have had rose petals leading to a sparkling kitchen, dinner ready, and with him dressed in a French maid outfit, probably with his ass hanging out. God, I miss that man. Anyway, what your husband did, especially knowing how much you were really needing some romance, was incredibly cruel and tone deaf. I don't think this one is a keeper, OP. OP said, "I am so sorry for your loss. Your husband sounds like an incredible man who loved you very, very much. I wish I had that kind of love." Then, user 2 commented, "TikTok is a pestilence. Did he film you? That's not playful, especially when the stakes are high. Get him a fake winning lottery ticket, then hand him a divorce decree. Then OP said he had his phone out. I don't think he posted it, but if he does, I'm done. I actually found the original, or maybe one of the TikTok pranks he used as an inspiration. The comments even pointed out how messed up it was to do. And I would give him a fake lottery ticket if I didn't know he would make a fuss about it. Update: my husband came back home last night. I had cooled off and then he ruined it by saying I was overreacting, that it was funny, and he wanted to make me laugh. So I told him I was going to file for divorce because it was the last straw. He then started crying and begging me not to. He begged me to give him a second chance. I said he had already got a second chance, and he squandered it by reminding me that I do all the daily chores in this house. This was why our marriage was rocky. I work in the medical field while he is a blue-collar worker. Both of our jobs require long hours, but if I mess up, people die. He once said that I went through all that schooling just to get covered in blood and feces. He took it back later, but he wanted to make me feel low. He started doing that a bit after COVID started. I do the cooking and cleaning. I do the laundry, the sweeping, the dentist appointments. All he does is create more work for me. He wanted me to pack him lunch because his friends' wives do. His friends' wives are either stay-at-home moms or they have part-time jobs. I do not have the time or energy to do that. He said he mows the lawn. Well, guess what? It's winter, and I had to shovel the driveway because I had work in the morning, and he had the day off. I make more money too. I bought our house at a low rate during COVID because his credit was too low. I had to save the money for a down payment. I pay our mortgage. What did he contribute to my life? If I didn't have him in my life, I would have clean floors all the time and more money. At least he could contribute love. He said he loved me, but he doesn't do anything to prove it. So I asked him for flowers or chocolate or a nice card, literally anything to show love, but instead he dropped flower petals to a sink full of dirty dishes, pots, and pans. It's not even original. I'm done. I'm going to file for divorce. Yas, OP, slay, and all that queen stuff. Good for her. I am so happy she recognized and she gave him a second chance. She was like, all right, we're done. Deuces. And then that one commenter made a really great story about her and her husband, the old widow. And then I got a little teary-eyed because that's a beautiful kind of love. Also, I've seen the TikTok in reference here, the original one, and when I saw that, I was like, man, if I was the wife here, I would have been pissed. I have a sense of humor. I joke around way too much. You watch these videos, but I wouldn't do that. That is such a dumb idea. That is the straight road to divorce, you dumb mother. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and remember, sometimes you need to use your heart and your brain, and then you'll find a nice little balance. But thanks for watching. Bye-bye.